The super cool thing about YouTube is you could put a video up about anything. You probably clicked on this video because you saw the title. The summer of 2013, me and 68 other college students cycled from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska. And I want to get into what that ride was for. Basically, my channel doesn't really have any limitations. It's just my way to share my life and experiences with you. Anyways, let's get into this video about how I cycled 4,000 miles.
I ride for many different people. One, my godmother, Vigai Garcia. I call her Ninang, which means godmother in Tagalog. She's my mom's best friend, and for the longest time, she's been very generous to me. She was diagnosed recently with breast cancer.
You're probably already watching this and thinking, I'm not even cycling, but I am wearing a cycling jersey. In the video, you can see I'm talking about why I ride. And this organization I was part of in college when I went to the University of Texas is called Texas 4000. Basically, a bunch of college students had the mission of bringing about awareness about cancer, cancer treatment, cancer services, doing this crazy cross-continental trip from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska to represent a metaphor in the fight against cancer. We raised money, at minimum $1 per mile, of 4,500 miles to donate to charities and services for cancer research, cancer survivorship services, everything related to helping out the cause.
Like she'd never changed her attitude, like her generosity, she's so caring, like she's still happy and optimistic despite her sickness.
The thing about cancer is that it affects each and every single person directly or indirectly, whether you're the one who's diagnosed with it, whether it's a loved one, a family member, a friend, or someone that you know of who is close to you, or even a complete stranger. Someone can have cancer or some sort of cancer and you won't even know it.
I ride for him because Wanda, his wife, passed away from breast cancer, I think, back when I was in middle school, so it's been a while.
It's interesting, my voice was a lot deeper back then. I don't know what it is. Texas 4000 was sort of just trying to do something a little bit bigger than just yourself, getting involved in a community that is not mainstream, is not always talked about, but it's something that's there and it's bigger than what you would think it is. Before we get into this next clip, basically this clip is a highlight video of like the areas that me and my team, we went on a certain route. There were 3 different routes our year. I specifically went along the coastal route or the Sierra Nevada route, where we got to go through California, Oregon, Washington. And if you already have watched some of my videos, you might know that I'm from Washington State. So we got to go into my hometown and then through to BC, Canada, all the way up to Alaska. And I think I was the driver that day. So I took turn. We had a support van and trailer that followed us, or we had 2 vans and 1 trailer. And I drove the van on the first day. And we were supposed to set up a rest stop every 15 to 20 miles. But that first day, I think I accidentally drove an extra 5 miles. So it was a 25 miler through hill country in Austin, Texas, or out of Austin, Texas. And my teammates were like, yo, what the F? There's a part in Arizona where I remember we went through a Indian reservation through a mountain pass, instead, like bypassing the interstate, where I think the temperatures got up to 112 degrees, and it was a long day. I think it was like an 80-miler day. And we biked up a mountain in that heat. Oh man, that last clip right there, that was Zion National Park. So if you haven't been to South Utah where Zion is, it's only a couple hours away from Vegas, but that was probably one of the coolest stops that we did, because we had a rest day where we got to stay there just an extra day, just to go hike. We found this hidden water hole down this this unmarked path. I don't even remember, but I remember we did that. This clip right here, every morning, the team and I, or basically the team, would do this ride dedication circle where the first clip you saw where I say, I ride for this person, I ride for that person, we would say every single day, for every day of the 70 days, We would say, go around, I want to dedicate my ride today to this person. And then we would do a chant, basically called a haka, which is essentially, looking back at it now, it was cultural appropriation. At the time, there was it was just like a tradition that many teams before us did, and we just continued it. When we get in that circle and we do that chant, we get hyped up to say, like, let's do this. We got this ride today, short, long, whatever, and we go do it. I would probably not participate in it now, but I definitely did back then, just because it was a team thing. That's what this part is. You could see I'm in the bandana leading that chant right there. My nickname was Uncle Tito. If I have a picture of what I look like majority of the trip, I'll post it up here. Every time we reached a new state, we would do a quote-unquote border race. Essentially, who's the quickest one that could get into the next state. But like over time, it was just, because we went in groups. We wouldn't like be in a huge clump and then cycling like it was the Tour de France. But every time we would stop at the border, take a picture, and then post it up on social media. So I remember border races were really fun. There you see me in the middle there. We were at Lake Crescent, which, if you're not familiar with Washington State, up on the peninsula, and Washington is kind of shaped like this, or if it's backward, it's shaped like this, where this is the peninsula of Washington, this is the whole state, right? We were up on this area. There was a huge lake up there where one of our teammates had a house out there. They had a boat, and then we did, tubing. We did, I think some teammates did some what is called wakeboarding, and then there was also a cliff where it had like different tiers. We did some 40-foot jumps. I didn't do a jump correctly, like I had my legs spread and then it really hurt. Yeah, you can picture what went on. As you could see here, there were a couple of times where we had to camp out, where we'd get to a campsite and just pitch tents. I think one of the most interesting places we slept was on top of hay bales in a barn. There'd be so many times we would just be breaking out in dance, whether it be at a rest stop, like we would just stop and then we start dancing. One of the theme songs from our trip was Latch by Sam Smith. I remember hearing that song so much. They played it so much. There was another song. It was, I have to look this up. This is bothering me. Work by Iggy Azalea. Those two songs were the theme songs of our summer. Yeah, if you're familiar with the farmers market in Seattle, they do this thing where they take a salmon fish and they throw it across the market to their servers or customers. As you can see, my teammate here, Hillary, she got to catch a fish with her bare hands and she caught it. She didn't let it drop like some people have in some funny videos. There were obviously a lot more places that weren't shown. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Texas 4000 isn't just this bike ride, but every time we stopped in the community, we also did these presentations where we talk about, a discussion about cancer awareness.
The reason that we started Texas 4000 back in 2003, before our 2004 bike ride, was to make an impact that was going to turn people's heads, that was going to be something that got people talking.
Chris Condon, I don't think I personally met him. I've seen him at the gala because he goes to almost every single one. But he's a cancer survivor himself. Why they started it, it's just amazing that if you're in college right now, if you're in high school right now, really if you're anywhere in life, you can just start something. And then it could be a cause, it could be a company, it could be a business, it could be any kind of endeavor that can impact and make a change. And that's what he did. In 2003, this being the 10th anniversary back in 2013, it grew so much in 10 years.
Summer has taught me so much, not only getting involved in the cancer fighting community, but also learning about myself and people around me, not just my teammates, but also the hosts we meet and the people we meet in the communities.
The summer was basically me away from education, me away from like an internship or building my professional experience before I graduated. It was the summer after my junior year. So I came back and it became my senior year. Sometimes going out there, doing something crazy like this, you get a little bit more perspective, learning from different communities around the continent. It's not just North America that's affected by this illness either. So, hopefully the message reaches people globally, because I know there are so many people affected by this illness.
I feel like Texas 4000 also brings not only the community's hope, but it brings the riders hope. I joined because of Claudia Garcia. She was one of my friends. She passed away from leukemia 2 years ago.
The cool thing is about my team, or the teams that compose the teams that go every year to Alaska, is they're so diverse. You don't have one race, you don't have one gender, you don't have one body type. Like, you can have athletes who are very avid cyclists, you can have the people who play intramural football or sports, you can have someone who's never ridden a bike before. Like, I'm pretty sure a good amount of people on my team, they never clipped into a cycle or a bicycle before.
That many people, first off, who are that responsible to be able to do this. But these kids sacrifice their summer to be able to do this. And that's touching to me.
I can't count on my fingers, I can't even put a number to it, to the many different types of people we met on that trip.
Ozarks route has, greatly propelled our ability to share that message with more different people, with more communities. For 70 stops, there's 70 new communities that we can connect with, and thousands, tens of thousands of people that we can reach that we were not reaching before. So that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, the addition of that third route was really cool, because they were really pioneering that route and reaching out. Like, you were cold calling so many different cities, communities, that you could say, hey, can you host a group of 20 to 25 college students in your homes, in your gymnasiums, your schools, your churches?
Texas 4000 shouldn't be the biggest thing you do in your life, any of the riders. I'll feel like it is the craziest and biggest thing I've done in my life for a while, but I said last night in the ride dedication circle that we ride for all these people, but instead of riding today for all those people, after today, I want to live for all those people so that we can encourage future generations in Texas 4000, but also in cancer communities all over the world, that we can end cancer.
You can think from the title of this video, 4,000 miles. Some of you might be thinking, I can't even bike a mile. Because right now, I probably couldn't bike a mile at least easily, unless I was going downhill. But 4,000 miles, it's one summer, it's one trip. I could share a couple things with you. I got some of my old jerseys. I'm not going to try them on because they probably don't fit anymore. But there's that. Shout out to Team Struggle. Something we said on the trip a lot was riding the struggle bus, but I got that sticker from my friends back home. This bike went up to Alaska and back, a couple triathlons. So there was this one day where I cycled over 150 miles in one day, and we started at 5 a.m. It was super cold. We were coming out of Williams Lake. I also have this really big poster of me and my teammates. Yeah, I think that's in the frame. The first pillar is hope, because us riding, a summer ride of 4,500 miles, it ends. But the thing is, a lot of cancer patients, young and old, they don't know when their treatments or their diagnosis, their illness is going to end. They go through hell. Biking is a metaphor, but it will never compare to what cancer patients go through. I just wanted to share that with each and every one of you. It's really cool seeing people come to my channel, come to every single video that I release, comment down in the comments below. When I talk a lot, I get Thanks so much for watching the video. If you don't mind, again, please like the video. Turn the like button down below blue just by doing a little click right there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Again, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll catch everyone in the next video. Peace.